This is the Vivo V17 Pro, and it was the first smartphone in India with a dual pop-up selfie camera. It stood out because there was nothing else on the market that offered such a setup. Vivo has now launched a non-Pro version called the V17, and as you can see, it does not have a dual pop-up camera. Instead, it has a tiny hole punch, and it's priced at 22,990 rupees. With markets already saturated with affordable smartphones, can this V17 make its mark? Well, we review to find out. Before we go ahead with the full review of the Vivo V17, be sure to subscribe to the Gadgets 360 YouTube channel and click that bell icon so that you're the first to know when we have a new video. The Vivo V17 has super slim bezels at the top and sides of the screen. The 6.44-inch Super AMOLED display has a Full HD Plus resolution. We like the vivid output and its viewing angles. It has a tiny hole punch for the selfie camera. Yes, it does cut into content when watching videos and playing games, but it wasn't big enough to bother us. This phone also has an in-display fingerprint scanner, which is quick to unlock the smartphone. There is face recognition as well, which uses the tiny hole punch camera to quickly scan your face and unlock the smartphone. The Vivo V17 looks gorgeous, especially in this glacier ice color finish, and it has a compact quad camera setup at the back. The V17 isn't too bulky and weighs only 176 grams. At the bottom, it has a USB Type-C port with 3.5mm audio jack, microphone and loudspeaker. Vivo has used a plastic frame for this device, and the back panel also feels plasticky. All the buttons are positioned on the right and are fairly easy to reach. The SIM tray is on the left and has two nano SIM slots as well as a dedicated microSD card slot. The V17 is powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 675 SoC, which is surprising and disappointing. Vivo recently used the exact same processor in the U20, which cost less than half as much as this V17. The company could have at least used a Snapdragon 730 processor, which is currently powering the likes of the Redmi K20. The V17 comes in one configuration only, with 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. In terms of software, the V17 runs FunTouchOS 9.2 on top of Android 9 Pie. The UI is very different from stock Android and could take some time getting used to. It does not have an app drawer, and we did find a fair amount of bloatware pre-installed on the smartphone, and some of them, including apps like Hello and Daily Hunt, spammed us with notifications, which was annoying. The Snapdragon 675 SoC is capable of delivering a smooth, usable Android experience without any lag or stutter. We could also multitask easily between multiple apps thanks to 8GB of RAM on this smartphone. The PUBG Mobile defaulted to the high preset and ran without any issues. After playing this game for 20 minutes, we noticed that the device did get warm to the touch in an air-conditioned room. We have noticed the same kind of heating issue with the Samsung Galaxy M40 and the Redmi Note 7 Pro. The Vivo V17 packs in a 4500 mAh battery, and it lasted us for a day and a half with our usage. In our HD video loop test, this smartphone went on for 16 hours and 44 minutes. Vivo ships an 18-watt charger in the box, which managed to get this smartphone to 70% in an hour. The Vivo V17 has a quad camera setup consisting of a 48-megapixel primary sensor, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide-angle camera, a 2-megapixel macro camera, and a 2-megapixel depth sensor. The camera app is unchanged compared to what we have seen on other recent Vivo smartphones. The 48-megapixel primary camera takes 12-megapixel shots by default, and we found it to be quick to set the focus and exposure. In daylight, the Vivo V17 took decent shots and managed good amounts of detail. However, we did notice grainy output in the shadows. We also found the dynamic range to be just acceptable. Photos taken from the wide-angle camera were distorted at the edges and the color tone was slightly off. For close-ups, we found the smartphone to be quick to lock focus, though we did have to tap the display at times to get it to focus. The camera has a bokeh mode which manages good separation between subjects and backgrounds in our tests. It also lets us set the level of blur before taking a shot. There is portrait mode as well, which mainly offers a lot of beautification options before you take a shot. The macro camera on the Vivo V17 lets you get super close to a subject in order to capture fine details. It managed to focus on tiny objects, but we feel that the novelty of a macro camera will wear off soon for most people. In low light, the smartphone managed to deliver good shots with ample detail, but fine grain was still visible on zooming in. When we enabled night mode, we got brighter images with better details overall. Selfies turned out well in the day as well as at night. The V17 also lets you take a selfie using night mode, which results in much better details. Now video recording maxes out at 4K for the primary camera and 1080p for the selfie shooter. Footage shot in the day was well stabilized when shooting at 1080p, while 4K video wasn't. We noticed that stabilization in low light wasn't great, resulting in a very noticeable shimmer effect in the output. Vivo has picked an excellent AMOLED panel, and the tiny hole punch isn't distracting. The V17 also offers decent battery life and supports fast charging. Thanks to the night mode, it also managed good photos in low light. However, just like the Vivo V17 Pro, the choice of processor is questionable, as you get the same kind of performance from the Vivo U20, which is priced at just 10,990 rupees. And at 22,990 rupees, the V17 is too expensive for what it offers. At this price, the Redmi K20 looks like a far better deal with a more powerful processor and a better experience overall. And that was our review of this Vivo V17. So what do you think about this smartphone? Let us know in the comment section down below. And as always, for all things tech, stay tuned to gadgets360.com.